This is a Rogue Media Network podcast. This is Central Texas Life with Ann Harder.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to Central Texas Life. And today, it's kind of a gray day. Normally, you can see the landscape off the 21st floor here at the Alico building. But we're going to brighten it up talking about art with my friend, Susan Sistrunk, who is an artist. And Susan, I just love to talk to art because I really don't have a bent toward that. And anyone who can imagine something and then take paint or whatever and create something of beauty, I'm really all on board on that.
Well, it's been a lifelong passion of mine, and I call myself a serial artist because I'm constantly finding a new medium to delve into.
You are. You do a lot of different things.
I do. I get bored easily with a medium, and I just have to find something new to challenge myself with. Because I believe in reaching for something new, teaching yourself something new. After the first of the year, I'm going to take up welding. Actually,
so I love it.
I'm constantly reaching for something new.
Well, I guess we first met when you had your gallery there on Washington, that they called Uptown, and you made purses, if I recall, and of course the art was always beautiful, and you'd have different artists come in. So let's talk though about really what prompted our visit today, and that's public art.
Yes.
And this is a mural there on LaSalle.
Yes, over the end of the summer, October, my future husband, AJ Dungan, and we ventured to do a mural on the side of the Goodwill building on LaSalle Avenue, and it had been in the planning for well over a year and a half, and we put it off until October because we thought the weather would be cooler.
Well, you'd think.
This is Texas,
yeah.
So it wasn't cooler. It was well over 90 degrees and close to 100.
Yeah.
But I'm really happy with the way it turned out, and we knocked it out in a week.
Really?
A week. Just
the two of you?
Just the two of us. We were working 14 to 16-hour days, but we knocked it out in a week. We'd break in the middle of the day for a couple of hours when it was, the hottest part of the day.
Sure.
And then we'd go back to work in the evening, and we knocked it out.
What was your inspiration?
We wanted to include landmarks that were central to LaSalle Avenue.
And this is not far from the Circle, so it's right.
Right,
yeah.
It's right off the Circle, next to the older, where Bear Arms Brewery used to be. It's right down from the old, where now it's Magnolia Table.
Magnolia Table, yeah.
So I wanted to incorporate...
A lot of traffic down there.
Yeah, a lot of traffic. I wanted to incorporate older landmarks from LaSalle Avenue, like the Circle Drive-In, the old Elite Cafe, the health camp.
Oh, yeah.
That's been there since 1949.
Oh, I know. The best shakes in the world.
So I wanted to incorporate those things, and the original Goodwill that was the first Goodwill from Waco. And I think that was really important to the people on that side of town because there's not a lot of public art on that side of Waco. So we had a lot of people come by and say, you know what? This part of town needs more public art.
Yeah. Well, and it's becoming more of a thing in communities. I know El Paso has got tons of murals and, street artists and the spray painters and all that, tagging and all that kind of thing. It's so interesting, and it does, brighten up a place. I've been noticing some of the ones in downtown Waco are getting a little shop worn.
Yep.
Needing some refreshing.
Yes, and it does brighten up the town. I just came from Terlingua last month, and a lot of the rundown buildings they have a huge artist population.
Oh yeah,
in that
yeah,
area.
sure, yeah.
And they've had artists come in, and the older buildings they've had artists come in and give them a facelift. And even if the building isn't being used, it just brightens up the area, and it doesn't look so run down, and it improves people's moods.
Yeah, oh, absolutely. Well, let's talk about your Terlingwood trip. Going out to West Texas, what a beautiful part of the state. I really was a couple of years ago, the first time I had a chance to venture out that way. And like you say, there it's quite the, like in Marfa and, you know, in that area, there's quite the artist enclave.
It is.
I mean, big time
Yeah,
artist type people.
People go out there, I think, for the peace, the quiet, and
It's otherworldly, really.
it is. There's nothing like it. And if you've never been out there, I always encourage people to go in the off season when there's not a lot of tourists,
Sure.
because there's nothing like it. It's as close to heaven as you can get. It
I would say.
really is.
Yeah.
Because the nighttime skies, it's the clearest you're ever going to see.
Right, right. You don't
And-
have a lot of ambient, you know,
There's
because the towns are small and yeah.
And I mean, it's just, there aren't words to describe it really.
Truly.
I actually started painting different size canvases because of it, because standard size canvases don't really capture the vastness. So I started painting in these long panoramic
really? Uh-huh.
sort of canvases. I started doing a completely different kind of painting style because of the vast landscapes of Big Bend.
So you pretty much just stick with oils? Are you doing pastels? What do you do?
Yeah, I pretty much stick with oils, but I do some watercolor when I'm traveling. It's easier.
Well, it would be easier.
Yeah,
wouldn't it?
oil painting doesn't really mix well with the winds in Big Bend.
Dust sticking in. You've
It
got
doesn't work
more
well.
of that's a different medium, I guess. You might call it something else.
But this trip, I was vending at the Chili Festival, and I primarily was burning hats
Okay,
while I was
so
there.
let's talk about this. I've seen these on the marketplace, you know, and I'm really interested in these. Yeah, so you've got quite a few here.
Yeah, I just started doing these this summer, actually, like about 3 months ago, because someone said, they saw me burning on wood, and they
Right,
said, "Have
and
you-"
that's what. In fact, you gave this to me as a little gift, and it's a log cabin.
Yeah, it's from the Waco Ranch.
From
It's
the
a little-
Waco Ranch. I know you can't see it from here, but it's lovely. And so, yeah, we've got it right here on display.
So someone suggested,
and I dropped it.
I got it.
And there I dropped it.
No
okay,
worries.
there we go. All right.
It's durable. Someone suggested burning on
man.
hats, and I had never heard of it before. I thought, I'll set it on fire. And
Well, you would think you might. And it's a felt. It's a nice.
yeah, and they're felt, and so I got some hats, and I'm used to burning on wood.
Right.
So I set it on the lowest setting, and it burned so easily. And I just love it. I took off with it. So I took the hats down to
Oh, it's a rose.
Big Bend to Terlingwood. This one's still in progress. I'm going to be burning all the way around. I'm doing
Oh, that's beautiful.
this one. I'm devoting to my YouTube channel. So I'm doing tutorials on my YouTube channel on how to burn.
Oh, so is it like a soldering iron? What-
Actually, it's. I should have brought it with me today. It's like a soldering tool. You can solder with it. I started with a soldering iron actually. So you can use. I started with the Dremel soldering iron. So you can use the soldering iron. I've switched to a different wood burner now that has a fine tip that you can use for the lines that you see here.
Oh, yeah.
And then it's got a wire tip that you use for like the shading that you see on the road.
To sort of- yeah,
kind of gives
right,
the
fill it in.
gradient. Yeah. So you can use it for like the gradient here.
that is just.
But I love working with.
Awesome.
Ooh, this one has a little bit of flint on it.
So
Sorry.
yeah, let me see that black one. So, I mean and you use the same thing, and on the white one, it's just very pale.
Yeah, it's just
That's just how it.
that's
did.
just how it burns.
Amazing.
This one's got a little bit of lint on it. Sorry about that. It was in a box from Terlingwood.
Oh, it's got a saguaro cactus on it.
Exactly. It's got a little
love
Terlingwood.
this.
It's got a little Terlingwood dust
That's
on
right.
it still.
Right, and I'm surrounded by these
So
hats.
yeah,
These are-
I must have burned about 30 hats down in Terlingwood while I was there. And
Right.
I was-
Well, it's something you can sit and monitor your booth or whatever,
yeah,
and just
they all
and
sold while I was there.
I'm sure they did. I'm
And
sure they did.
So I've been
These are awesome.
selling
Okay,
so
I'm
many
gonna
of
have to pick
them.
one out.
and they've been just a very popular item for Christmas, and they've been selling on my Etsy store. People just really enjoy them,
Yeah.
and they're really fun because I can kind of just sit and do them at home. And
Yeah, let's just set them.
and
Let's
they're
set them
fun
out here so
for,
folks can.
like I said, they're a fun item for my YouTube channel for tutorials, because I was a teacher for years. In the classroom, I was an art teacher for years, and I still enjoy teaching, and I love doing tutorials for people.
Yeah.
I still love teaching, and the YouTube channel is a good way for me to still be able to teach and
Sure,
show
yeah.
people,
Yeah.
show people how to create art.
So your YouTube, it's under your name, Susan Sistrunk.
Susan Sistrunk,
Sistrunk,
Fine Art. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's just like my Facebook
Yeah.
page. So,
Oh my gosh.
yeah, I really still enjoy teaching people, and I just started doing the YouTube channel a couple of weeks ago.
Yeah, so it's recent.
I'll probably be putting out like 2 or 3 episodes a week. Not so much that people will get sick of it or anything.
Well,
or all
because
this-
you do so many different things.
yeah, and I don't want to get sick of doing it either. I don't want
Right,
it
or
to
feel
become-
like it's a chore. I mean, that
Yeah.
would
So-
absolutely. Gosh, there's just so much I want to I want to find out. So your hats. This is something relatively new that you
The last
started
few-
doing.
Yeah, and I do a lot of commission hats also.
I imagine.
A lot of people have reached out and asked me for something special on a hat, or brought me their hat to put something
Right.
on.
Right.
That's happened quite a lot. People brought me their hats in Terlingua. They went home all the way to Alpine to
Yeah.
get their hat, and Alpine is 80 miles.
Yeah,
from
yeah.
Terlingua.
Alpine's not close to.
No,
Terlingua.
it's a little bit of a hike.
Yeah, yeah. Oh man, that's great. But I'm sure like the trip to West Texas that really gives you inspiration.
It does. I always come back with a lot of ideas of things to create, things to do, new ideas of ways to branch out and challenge myself artistically. And, ask myself a lot of questions. Am I going about things the right way? Am I making good decisions? It also lets me, reflect a lot personally while I'm down there. Am I making good life choices?
Yeah.
Am I going about my life in the way that I want to? Closing out the year, November, I'm down there every November, so it gets close to the end of the year, and it's a good time for me to reflect on the
reflect.
year. What have I accomplished this year?
Yeah.
Did I get everything done I wanted to? Did I handle everything the way I wanted to handle it? Did I show everybody as much grace as I hope
Yeah,
I should?
that's always a good one. Yeah.
Should show people grace,
right.
I struggle with that sometimes, I think, I always try to show people as much grace as they, you want to be able to say that you gave people what you expect them to give
Yeah.
you.
Sure.
So,
Sure.
just it's a good time for me to check in on myself and ask myself, am I being as good of a person as I want to be?
And a good time, as you say, kind of set some goals for the coming year. What do I
Absolutely.
want to see happen going forward? When did you know, Susan, that you wanted to do art? Did you always have this creative bent? Did your mother kind of encourage that in you?
No, it happened actually. I remember when I was a kid, I was always drawing when I was a kid.
Uh-huh.
But I remember I loved picture books growing up. And I remember, wow, someone draws the pictures in these books, and that's their job.
Oh, you were already thinking that way.
Yeah. And then I remember going to, I was a Navy brat, so I grew up in California, up and down the California coast. But I remember going to a museum in San Francisco when I was a little girl. And beautiful dark paneling on the walls. Probably one of the reasons why I fell in love with 2120 Washington Avenue.
Yeah.
Because of the
That was
dark
a very
paneling.
moody kind of a
And
setting for your art.
And
yeah.
I remember all of the oil paintings on the walls, and I thought, wow, they have a building just for people's pictures.
Yeah.
That's that just struck me. It was profound.
Really, really.
It was a profound moment
That's
in
great.
my life.
Yeah.
And I've been drawing and painting ever
So
since.
they need content, right?
Yeah.
They need to have.
And I've just been drawing and painting ever since, and creating.
Yeah.
And it was just done for me.
Well, and of course, all kinds of, as we mentioned, you made purses, you made all kinds of things. But you're also a wordsmith. So let's talk a little bit about your creative writing.
Yeah. So with everything, there were so many things that happened, some good, some bad, that we talked about before the show. There were some things that happened that put some things on hiatus this year.
Right. You have to make choices when
So,
life throws you curveballs.
There were some curveballs this year.
Yeah.
So Echoes in the Gallery kind of had to go on hiatus for a while.
And
this
that's
year.
kind of a continuing series
It
that you've
is.
been doing,
I've been,
audio.
It's an audio podcast that I've been working on for a couple of years now.
Yeah.
For about the last 6 months, it went on hiatus, and it's an art mystery, a fictitious art mystery.
Right.
So it went on hiatus for a few months, but it's going to be back after the first of the year, and it will be on Spreaker, Spotify, and iHeartRadio, and we'll have a new season, a new volume of episodes, and I'm really excited about that.
So how many volumes have you done now?
This will be a third
The
volume.
third volume.
This will be the third volume, and I'm really excited about it because I'd left volume 2 in kind of a sticky situation.
Right, a little bit of a cliffhanger.
A little bit of a cliffhanger. So I'm really excited to see where things are, to get people back into the swing of things, and hopefully people will still be listening.
Well, and you thought about, I think we talked about you maybe turning it into a book, but
Yes, that is a goal for next year.
Okay.
That was something that kind of had to be shelved this year. There were just too many
Right.
irons in the fire this year, and that kind of had to just, there were too many things on the plate.
Yeah.
So that is definitely a goal for the coming year. I really want to see it in print. So if anybody knows a publisher, send them my way.
yeah, right. I've talked to many people who do the self-publishing thing, but it's you're a very good writer and a very compelling narrative and characters and so forth, which is always so good. But back to talk a little bit more about your art. You can go. You have a website, and I know I've found several things that you have, and I presume all of it's for sale.
Yes. Everything is always for sale. And,
Yeah.
And I do a lot of commission work.
I was wondering about that. How much commission work you do?
A lot of commission work. People reach out to me for portraits all the time, for family heirloom pieces. I actually just got through, and I'll show you a video of it when we're done here. I burned a barrel of wine barrel, a mini wine barrel. I burned the entire thing. The husband and his wife were bourbon aficionados. So I burned a scene of a Kentucky distillery on the bottom, and then the middle scene is the inside of the distillery. The top scene is in between the bands of the barrel. The top scene is inside the rickshaw where the bourbon is stored, and on the top of the barrel is the bottle of bourbon and a cornfield and a glass.
Wow.
So people come to me for all kinds of commissions. Some really off-the-wall things
I was
like
going to
that.
say that is somebody laid awake at night thinking about that one.
They did, and she
Yeah.
knew exactly what she wanted. She
Yeah.
came to me with all kinds of images. We planned it out together, and it was a labor of love, and it took me about a month and a half to complete it.
Oh my gosh!
And she was really happy. But
Yeah.
people come to me for some pretty interesting commissions.
Yeah, I
but-
mean that is an heirloom, as you say. That's something to. But of course, you have all kinds of if someone's got a decor color, I mean, you can even work around that as well.
Absolutely. And that's something else people have come to me. Well, I like this idea, but my house is my living room is these colors.
Right,
Can we
right.
work that way? And absolutely.
You can do that.
Everything's fixable. I mean,
You can work that out.
There's an answer for everything.
Yeah. Oh man, that is so awesome. Well, that I love. Like I say, I love talking to creatives, and you really, they look in the dictionary under creative, and you'll see Susan's picture right there, because from the hats to the art to the writing, I mean, you kind of cover all the bases. But I like to end these little visits with a questionnaire,
Okay.
similar to the one the late great James Lipton would use on
Yes.
Inside the Actors Studio. So I'm sorry, I got a frog in my throat this morning. But what is your favorite word?
I think kind, because it's free.
Yeah.
It doesn't cost anything to be
That
kind.
is true.
It doesn't
That's
cost
good.
anything to be kind.
I don't know that I've asked this of a lot of people. I don't know that I've ever heard that. I think that's beautiful. Yeah. What is your least favorite word then?
Ugly, because I think of it more as a personality trait than as looks.
Yeah.
You know, I dislike ugly people because you don't have to be ugly.
Right.
It's free to be kind.
Right. Exactly. What turns you on then, creatively or spiritually or emotionally? I know West Texas kind of helped.
Oh yeah,
spark
definitely,
that.
definitely. I think a sky with wispy clouds.
Ooh, yeah.
That definitely turns
that's
me
awesome.
on. That definitely turns me on.
I've never heard that before either. What turns you off spiritually, emotionally, or creatively?
Too much noise. Like too many voices speaking all at once. I can't
Kind of
process.
chaotic.
I can't process it
stuff.
because I try to listen to every conversation at once.
Right.
So I can't focus in on anything.
Yeah. Yeah. What is your favorite sound?
Wind blowing through trees.
Oh, yeah.
Definitely. Wind blowing through trees.
Yeah. Yeah. That's good. What is your least favorite sound?
My cat meowing at me at 5:30 in the morning. Don Gatto is persistent.
They have a way. They know exactly how to wake you up.
He is very persistent too.
We had a cat once who had mini blinds in the window, and that cat would stand on his hind. I mean, you are sitting up out of a dead sleep. What was that?
And now he has this thing where he likes to get up on the roof of my new car, and it's dewy in the morning now, so he likes to slide down my windshield and down the hood of my new car, and then he leaves little paw prints.
Oh, of course, there's paw prints everywhere. Okay, what other profession would you like to have tried? I mean, you've always kind of known you wanted to create beautiful things. But
actually, I almost went to school I wanted to go to school for marine biology.
Interesting.
Oh, or acting. I kind of thought about
I could
going
see that,
into
yeah.
acting. Yeah.
Yeah, I could see that.
I kind of wanted to do that. I always thought I wanted to be an actress.
Well, what job do you know you would not want? No thanks. Let somebody else do that.
I never wanted to be someone who had to like climb up on a tower or something for a living. Because
the radio station tower guys.
No,
Right.
no, I have
and they make a lot of money, I think.
They do. But I used to work at KCN, and I would see the guys climb the towers.
Yeah.
And I thought, never, ever do I want to do that. I have too much respect for gravity.
Absolutely. All right. Well, one last question. When you arrive at the pearly gates, what do you want to hear God say?
You worked really hard. You did a good job.
Yep. Yep.
That's what I want to hear.
Well, and you're also doing the kindness part and the showing grace.
Maybe you learned from your mistakes. That'd be nice to hear, that you learned from your mistakes.
Well, it's been a delight, Susan, to get to sit down with you and visit again. It's been a while.
Yeah,
Been a while.
it's always
And
good to
I've
see
got to
you.
go out on LaSalle Avenue and check out the public art, the beautiful mural that's right there on the Goodwill building. But your website, how can folks learn more, maybe if they want to contact you about a hat?
Well, it is on my Facebook page, of course,
Mm-hmm.
and it's hopefully maybe we can share a link.
Sure.
Here.
Oh, yeah.
And I am Susan Sistrunk Fine Art and on Facebook, and my website is right there, and it's pretty easy to find me. If Ann will share my
We
website
will.
on this podcast, that would be great.
Yeah, and we'll show you, place the link where you can link our
Awesome.
conversation on your Facebook
That
page.
will be great. I will
So-
make sure I share it. It's always so great to see you, Ann.
Oh,
Thank
you
so
too, you
much.
too, you too. I'm thrilled that we got to do this, and we are looking to a new year, and it's going to be one filled with blessings for you.
Oh, you too.
Yeah,
It's
thank you,
gonna be
thank you, and thank you for being with us for Central Texas Life. We'll see you again next time. Bye bye.
Central Texas Life with Ann Harder is part of the Rogue Media family. Be sure to check out our other shows at roguemedianetwork.com. Please rate this show 5 stars on iTunes, Spotify, YouTube, or anywhere you get your podcasts. Join us again soon for more Central Texas Life with Ann Harder. This has been a Rogue Media Network production.